All right, trade recap. A little, I'm a little distraught right now. I won't lie. So today we took a winning day. Even though it should have been more, but I did risk lower than usual. I only took 3 micros, which I can show you guys here. Um, on both accounts, 3 micros, took a profit as soon as we met the buy side objective, and that was basically really the idea here. And then we got stopped down in profit at this red line. Um, and yeah, like I had an 80-point stop. I won't even lie, somewhere around here. I had like a really large stop loss, and my original stop loss should have been like at 40 points with 5 micros, like around here. This would have been a really, really, really good stop loss. The market would have pushed up, breaker would have got respected, and we could have aimed, potentially for here, without getting stopped out. Or this would have been a nice 1-to-1, 1 to 1.5, nice little clear, like $750 day, right there, 2K balance. I mean, 2 hour trade. I mean, and that would have put us at, so this would have been up a good amount. Then this one is at 687 right now, but if we minus the 344, so 687 minus 344, and then 343 plus, so it would have been at the account balance right now, that would have been double the amount we had right now. And then if we just aimed for another, 1 hour trade, this would have been the balance minus 2. This would have been the take profit. I mean the payout. Probably a little bit less because they do take some. So now we have to again aim for more. We have to aim for, my main objective again for today was mainly just a 1 hour, but we had just aimed for a little bit less. I guess I'm just putting too much emphasis on this, take this little payout, my first payout. And we're not really thinking in terms of like trades, we're not thinking in terms of like our percentages. We're just focused on P&L, 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 being in the green, P&L, and, it just makes me upset because again, I'm just so focused on the payout. I'm not really focused on the trades, the quality, the setup, everything, outside of that. And it's really hard, it's really hard because again, it's like your first payout. It's like your first time ever being able to do this. And I don't want to request a payout that's way too small. That's first things foremost. I don't want to do that. And again, I took a partial, even though in reality I don't take partials. A partial of 270, which is again, I don't know. My honest opinion, I think it should just took a 1 hour trade. Honestly, minimum should have took a 1 hour trade instead of just taking that. Of like this right here, should have been a 1 hour trade for sure. Should have just aim for a little bit more, held it, and then took my 1 hour of 1%. But it's fine. Let's go over the trade. I guess the quality of it wasn't really bad. It was a really good setup. Again, my final objective was up here, and it's getting closer to being met. So, oh lies, like it's hard, bro. It's hard because now you're about to see your final objective get met. And again, the system doesn't present itself, often. I won't be able to trade tomorrow. Wednesday or Friday, one of the 2 days might be offered, a really, really, really good setup. If not Thursday, but again, one of these days throughout the week will offer like a 2 hour trade. I just have to be willing to be patient, sit on my hands, and just be ready for it and take the setup. And one thing I am afraid of that I talked about in the vlog that you will see is like, bro, I'm afraid to lose now because again, one loss could wipe away all the profit we made, but again, one win can like bring us back in. So it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard mentally. Like this is the hardest part. Like mentally, it's just mentally. Like the trades, everything, this and that. It isn't hard, but it's just like mentally, psychologically, the balance. It just messes with you. Like the closer you're getting, like the more it messes with you, and that's something that I'm really just trying to focus on. Again, it's just focusing more on consistency. But again, following the rules, following the system, 1 trade a day, 1% risk, and just following the trading system. So again, let's go over this real quick. On the weekly time frame, I was bullish. We had let's mark all this. Let's take this off real quick. So on the weekly time frame, bearish candle, daily time frame, candle range low sweep on the daily time frame here, showing a clear sign of reversal pattern. 4-hour time frame, we had a 4-hour candle range low sweep, and we also had a 4-hour buy side imbalance being respected. 1-hour time frame, we had a 1-hour candle range low sweep also. Again, just showing clear indication for what higher prices. And then we also had a 1-hour SIBI, but the 4-hour SIBI was clearly what higher, time frame, and it was just more bullish, if I'm being truly honest. And then eventually sweep and sell side, sweep and more sell side. Again, what the market is literally just showing a clear sign of reversal. 30-minute time frame, we had a 30-minute candle range low also being swept here. And then on the 15-minute time frame, really the same thing. It aligns perfectly with the 30-minute, just showing a clear what rejection here at 9:30 open, and that gave me the indication for what higher prices. And let's take all this off right here. And yeah, we had the clear standard deviation targets being presented here on the 5-minute, and we also had our buy side objective. So once we met this buy side objective, I moved my stop loss to break even, and that was clearly like my area of like where I would want to move the stop loss to break even. And then original entry should have been like around here, should have been here with a like right here, with like a good 50-point stop. I won't lie, 50-point stop, just covering this right here, this range of this inversion first presented for value gap, and then aiming for this buy side objective, a nice 1 to 2 here. Again, another really good setup, but I was just clearly afraid, basically. And then I had taken a little bit of a late entry once we had the breaker form. Once we had a closure above here, that's when I took my entry. And I had a wide stop loss because again, I was thinking like the market can reverse here, it can retrace further like 30 to 40 points, and I would have got stopped out, and then eventually it could have potentially moved. Since today's a Monday, I thought it's a Monday, it's gonna be slow, this and that, but that didn't happen. And eventually we met my buy side objective, and I just was under risking. I should have been entering over here, and just letting it run, again letting the probabilities play out after having so many like sweeps, having SMT at the lows, respecting the 4-hour PD array, manipulating, forming the breaker, this right here, and then eventually just pretty much it's just like, and then eventually we're about to meet the final target. We chopped around for a little bit, respected all these highs right here from this area and this low volume node, or the fair value gap I should say too, and now it's clearly just 150 points higher. Again, just letting the payout affect me when in reality I shouldn't. Again, that's kind of why. And again, if I do request and if I do get another winning day, it's going to be a very, very small payout. But either way, I think I'm going to take it just to get it over with, get the jitters out the way, and then eventually go back to risking a little bit less. And if we do have like a small balance, again, just trying to build a buffer back up, aiming for like basically like $150 to $300 risk, and aiming for 1 to 2s, and then eventually building it, scaling up, aiming for like 1% risk again, maybe risking like 0.5, and then eventually aiming for 1% risk and a little bit more, and that would be basically really it. Just trying to build that buffer back up, aim for more risk, and then continuing to do that. But aside from that, again, just taking really good setups. That's all we've been doing for the past 2 weeks, which is like really, really been helping. Again, eliminating these type of days where it's not really following the entry model, while these are, these are following the entry model. These are taking really good setups, and just being able to walk away after a loss, which is very, very crucial. And for right now, we're in the profit, we're in green. I want to continue to maximize our, maximum loss limit, and just building a good buffer, and then once we can get to that point of requesting a payout, requesting it. Again, my main objective was mainly 4R in profit to request a payout, then eventually have like a 2R buffer, and using like 0.5 risk to try to build it up again and request another one. So that is basically really it. Just a really, really good day, really, really good setup, really, really good, just trading day, honestly. So we're up 344. Again, we're getting closer and closer, and one account is really, really low. I won't lie, this one is really, really low. I probably won't request a payout for this one. I'll probably leave it, and then eventually the other one we probably will. So I'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, I'll have to wait and see what happens. And I'm not really trying to rush the process here. I'm trying to just take it slow. And yeah, like, um, it this one was really low. You can see that there. It was basically at 2% and the loss limit, and then we brought it back up. Now we're in profit, and yeah, it just feels really crazy. But this is what happens whenever you follow your system and you stick to your rules. And you just take high quality setups. You will get rewarded. The market will reward you, and you will reward yourself for being disciplined, consistent, and patient. And that is basically really it. Now I'm gonna have to journal this trade, add it to the playbook. But aside from that, really just like learn what I can do better, in terms of like risk management, trader management, and my entry. And that's really it, honestly. So that's pretty much really it. I'll talk to you guys later. So yeah, peace.